guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Diana and I make videos all about my life here in Berlin, Germany. And today I'm really excited. I have a very special guest. This is my boyfriend, Josh.
Hey guys.
And we're actually going to be talking about some of the things that are cheaper here in comparison to the US and Canada. Now, we've been living here for the past year and 3 months, so we definitely have a lot of things that we've noticed over the last couple of months that we wanted to share with you guys. So hopefully you like it. If you do, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and let's go ahead and get started. Woo! So one of the first things that we noticed when we first got here is how ridiculously inexpensive phone plans are in comparison to what we were paying back home. Just to give you an idea of how much we used to pay, I used to pay about $80 Canadian a month, and you used to pay about the same, I think?
About 70, yes.
Yeah, every single month. So this definitely adds up to quite a lot by the end of the year. And here, I'm currently paying, I think, 12 euros, right? Because that's
12 euros
it goes
a month.
on his card, so it's about 12 euros.
12 euros a month for like 3 gigabytes of data and like unlimited minutes. In Canada, I used to pay $70 a month for like 1 gigabyte of data.
Yeah.
So it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I think if we did our research, we could probably get away with paying less, because I know they even have plans for like 10 euros and you get like double the amount of data. So if you're planning on moving here, this is something that you will definitely save on.
So even though I'm not a student, I would say one of the cheapest things about being in Germany is the free education. So it's completely free to do your undergraduate here, even for international students. And if you compare that to America, where you're basically paying $20,000 to $25,000 a year, and you graduate university with like $100,000 in debt, and then spend the next few years of your life just trying to get back to zero, you know? So I feel like here you're given a much better chance to succeed because you're not starting off in that hole. So I think that's one of the best things about Germany. And
even at work, we know a lot of people that are still doing their masters here, and the reason why is because it's so inexpensive as well. I believe they pay around 300 euros a semester, and they even get their like bus pass and their U-Bahn pass included into everything, which is crazy.
Basically everybody I know here has a master's degree. Well, and why not? It's free.
Yeah, take advantage of it. So I wish, I would have known this when I was doing school, even though we are from Canada and education is still relatively inexpensive in comparison to the US. It's still even cheaper here. Yeah. Crazy. So something else I wanted to mention is healthcare. Now, we're both from Canada where healthcare is free, but in comparison to the US, healthcare is definitely way cheaper in Germany. From what I've read, in the US, the average family pays around $5,000 a year for health insurance, which is extremely expensive, whereas here it is much, much cheaper. So the way it works here is you do have to pay for health insurance monthly, but you actually split it with your employer. So your employer pays for 50% and you pay for the remainder. So just to give you an idea of how much we pay approximately like 125 euros per month. And then the employer or our employers pay for the remainder. So that is definitely significantly cheaper than it is in comparison to the US. And you get full coverage, so you can go to the doctor anytime. Your prescriptions are way cheaper.
Dentist too?
Dentist too, yeah. So even if you go for a checkup, I was super surprised when I went in and they didn't even charge me for a cleaning. So yeah, that is amazing. So it's definitely a bonus. Now, this is one of our favorite things about living in Germany and in Europe. Why don't you talk about it?
So, as you guys probably know, me and Diana love to travel. And for me, that was the best thing about moving to Europe and moving to Germany. It is so cheap to travel. We travel maybe once or twice a month, to be honest. And it's basically cheaper than taking a bus to those countries. So it's super cheap to fly here. We've flown round trip from Berlin to London, for example, maybe like 30 euros round trip, which is just crazy. That to put it into perspective, that's about 40 US dollars.
Yeah.
So and yeah, we travel all the time here, and we love that because it gives us that nice little break. we feel like every weekend we can travel to whatever country we want, really, because it's just so cheap.
Yeah, and obviously in the US and in Canada it's super expensive to travel outside of the country, but even within the country, if you wanted to fly, let's say from New York to LA, or let's say from Toronto to Vancouver, you're gonna have to expect to pay around $400. Oh, and speaking of travel, we're super excited because we're actually going to Japan next week. So if you guys wanna see our Japan adventures, I'll leave.
Super excited.
Yeah, so stoked. I'll leave our Instagrams down below so you guys can follow us there.
I think lastly, I would have to say eating out is very cheap here, and I mean just going to a restaurant and eating.
Yeah.
I feel like in America or Canada, it's more of like an event, you know, like, oh, let's go for lunch or let's go for brunch or whatever. Whereas here, it's like, okay, I don't feel like cooking tonight or whatever, I'm just gonna go to the restaurant down the street and grab something. Like, it's just because it's just really cheap.
Yeah, and by cheap we mean you're really not going to have to pay more than 10 euros for a decent meal. And this is like a really good meal. You can get a whole pizza or like a nice pasta dish with like an appetizer and sometimes even a drink for under that price. Whereas if you go to a restaurant, you know, in the States, you can expect to pay, let's say, around $15 or more for a higher end meal, where here it's just way cheaper.
At least in Berlin.
Yeah, at least in Berlin. So we can only speak of Berlin, but this is actually great. And I don't know if you guys watched my previous video where I talked about work environments, but because food is so inexpensive here in terms of going out, that's why a lot of people actually don't bring lunch to work, because it actually makes a lot of sense to buy lunch. We do that.
I haven't taken lunch to work in over a year. I eat out every lunch and it's really cheap.
Yeah, and how much do you pay usually?
Between 5 to 7 euros.
Yeah, and you save time and it is cheaper than having to, you know, make your own meal. Quick
honorable mention, let's talk about fitness. So it is super cheap to go to the gym here. Like, we pay 15 euros a month to go to a really nice gym. And yeah, and I feel like that contributes to a lot of people being generally fit here. It's just because the access to the gym is quite affordable. Yeah,
so it's like a gym with nice equipment. You know, you get a nice water bottle. So
yeah,
I like the water bottle.
You do get a free water bottle and a free towel.
Yeah, I like that. Like, back home, I used to pay like $60 a month to go to the gym, and they didn't even give you a water bottle. No. So yeah, definitely working out is cheaper, and like Josh said, I do think it contributes to people generally being more fit and more active here because it is quite cheap to work out. All right, so that is it for this video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I did want to give a shout out to Josh's YouTube channel. You guys have to check it out. I'll leave the link down below. Do you want to tell them what your channel is all about?
It's a sneaker channel. If you like sneakers, you're into sneakers, you want to watch some sneaker reviews, follow me. Link is in the description. Yeah, so check it out. I'll leave it down below. And thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please don't forget to subscribe, and I will talk to you all in the next one. Bye!
If you wanna come around, baby, it's cool. And if you wanna fuck around, baby, I do just wanna be alone with you. With you.